Let's see. Wow. Let's see if they're all connected first. I think I put on Facebook and YouTube today. If they are connecting. Don't see any connections coming. Hold on, let me check really quick. It's not showing it's connected. I think it is. All right, let's just go with it. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It doesn't matter wherever you are. Thank you, everyone, for gathering here today and listening to our conversation. Whether you are listening live or through a replays, we're glad that you are here. Hello, Michael. Good to see you. Hope you are well.
I'm extremely well, Julie. Good to see you. Hello, everyone.
Yes, it's always good to hear from you and seeing you on Monday. And everyone else, I will apologize last week. We weren't here last week. I was traveling on the weekend before that, and we weren't able to come together. So here we are. We are excited to share with everyone our thoughts. Throughout the week, I've listened to a lot of things, business-wide, personal, and stuff like that. So I thought of the three critical factors that really underpin our Onpassive success in this very ever evolving, business around the world, business, here in our own area as well. These three pillars, I believe, that are very important, that very vital to our business, and that actually help businesses success. And as we are traveling in Onpassive in the past 6 years, and we have noticed these principles has been displaying in our Onpassive business landscape. Therefore, I thought it's great. We thought, it would be great to get these principles together and talk about it. So these principles that I and Michael see how it is, the very first one is focus. Precision is the second one, and the third one is efficiency. As you are listening to this discussion, I hope that you actually see how it displayed in Onpassive in the past years. What's your thought on this topic, Michael?
Well, focus, precision, efficiency. Those are three great words, Julie, that's for sure. And certainly applicable to our Onpassive business. So I look forward to the discussion. We have a very interesting business model, that's for sure. Very dynamic business. It's not static. It's not, here it is. This is it. It's ever moving and evolving. So certainly being efficient is always important in anything that you do, right? Who wants to be in a situation where you're not, you know, experiencing efficiency, right? You want to be efficient at whatever task that you're doing, your job, your personal life, social life, everything in life, and including business. Every business owner wants to be efficient in all that they do. So certainly it's going to be a good topic today, good discussion today, Julie. So back to you.
Yes, I'm excited to talk about it because I believe a lot of the conversations that we've been chatted in the past years have really focused on, but we haven't really like dive deep into the principles that we recognize. And so, in the world of overflowing with informations, distractions, and challenging, how I see in Onpassive is that we are always maintaining the clarity of the vision of what Mr. Ashmufara has been putting out as a very beginning. I see that we are laser focused not on the visions, but the way we communicate, the way we share information, the relationship that we are building with each other as well. You know, we have seen our CEO continue to focus on that vision, empower his team to focus on that vision as well. Everything that he does, always empowering that purpose, right? And also as ourselves, early birds, whatever we are coming on to talk to webinars, to like live discussions today, we've always encouraged, continue to encouraging everyone to stay focused. What do you see? Do you see that same things that we did? Because it's on and on every single year. We've seen our CEO presenting the company and empowering the tech team to focus on that vision. And it is very important as for ourselves as well, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's always distractions, Julie. If you have young children at home, you're trying to get something done, and there's a distraction. One of them may need assistance, or you know what I mean. You're on your job, and somebody walks by your desk, and so you turn to gaze. You know what I mean? Like there's always distraction in business. Same thing. You're trying to be focused on one particular business, and all these other bright, shiny star stuff always popping up in there, and people sharing this and that with you. So there's always distraction. That's how it is. You're driving down the road. Same thing. You know what I mean? There's an accident on the highway. So what does everybody do? They slow down and they're looking over to see what's going on instead of focusing on the road. Next to know you get yourself into an accident. So it's very, very important to focus. And from the very beginning, we've always stated, and the company has stated, Onpassive is here to uplift humanity. So that is a crucial focal point for our business, Julie. And so everything that has been done, everything that is being done, is all towards that end, right? It's all towards empowering us to be in a position whereby we can be the element of change, right? We can be those individuals that will take up that task as well, not just from the company end, but also from our end. So all that is still there. That's still in place, putting us in a position whereby, we can embrace that, whereby we can go out there, Julie, and help others within our community and so on. So that's, to me, that's a crucial piece, of this business model, is to be able to put people in that position, where they're able to, live life as life was intended, not just exist, right? And so that's part of the upliftment movement. So it's very, very important that we stay focused. The company needs to stay focused on the task at hand. We need to stay focused, on what our goals, and what our dreams, all of that. We need to stay focused on it. We can't just put them by the wayside, because, oh, well, are we there yet? Things are not the way I thought it was, this, that, all this other fancy stuff. Keep your eye on the prize, stay focused, because we are going somewhere, right? So going somewhere, that is positive for all of us around the globe, Julie. So yeah, focus is very, very important, and the company continues to stay focused on the task at hand to ensure that they delivered what has been stated, right? Again, we've said it before. You may have to make adjustments, et cetera, all of that, which is fine, because that's how you get to your destination. You have to adjust, right? And that's important. So, but definitely, as long as we're focused, as long as we're staying on track, that's what's really important, Julie.
Absolutely, absolutely, Michael. One point that I see that Onpassive is really displaying, not only focusing on its vision, but it's also focusing on the targeted audience as well, Michael. As we've seen what Mr. Mufareh and the team is doing, it's we are honing into the needs and the preference of our customers. I mean, look at last year, what Onpassive is offering is really somehow, somewhat, they tailor their offer around the needs of the customers, because they want to deliver the maximum value to its customer. you know uh, this literally approach that Onpassive is putting out, I believe it stand out in front of the crowded market that's out there, because we can see that a lot of the products that Onpassive are creating, as the lists go on, we see that everything that Onpassive putting out is really focusing on the needs of the customer to make sure that they are delivering the maximum values to customer, and that lead into the success of Onpassive. And this is how I see it, Michael, from the past years that we've been in Onpassive. What do you make of that?
Yeah, definitely. That is exactly what has been happening, Julie. We went from 1 year to 2 year to 3 year and so on, but it's always building upon what was previously done, right? Again, to get us one step closer, one step closer, one step closer to where all of us want to be. That's important, right? And again, and this is where focus comes in, and then that transitions into precision, right? Where you want to be precise in what you're doing. You want to be precise in the task at hand. You talk about delivering value. That is super important, right? If you're not giving customers value, you're not going to have customers for very long, right? So you have to make sure that whatever you're producing, whatever your products are, whatever your service may be, right, it has to have that in mind to ensure that it's about the end user, right? Who will use these products? Will they come just because these are great products, right? Is that enough, right? And that is enough when you're providing value. As long as there's value there, people will always buy products and services, right? When you don't produce it, that's when you have, fads. Things, they come and they go. They come and they go. But things that last, Julie, are things that give you value. Think of, a furniture, let's say, right? You went and you bought a, really solid furniture, right? That furniture tends to last you like years upon years upon years, as opposed to you went and bought some flimsy furniture, and yeah, it was cheap. There wasn't much value to it. You bought it, and in 6 months later, you have to go replace it again. You know what I mean? The same can be said with any other product, right? When there's value there, people tend to get more than they bargained for, and more than what they put out. That's returning value to the end user. And so Onpassive is no different in that putting together products that will stand the test of time, right? And which is why we use the latest artificial intelligence technology, right? That has to be infused within the products, then, Julie, because that's where we are today, and that's the future, right? So it's not just something that's here for the next year or two. This is actually the future. This is the direction that the marketplace is going in. So absolutely, Onpassive is on point where that is concerned, Julie.
Absolutely. So then that lead us into the next principle that I believe that is displayed in Onpassive is precision. In today's data-driven world, as we are in the technology space, we know that everywhere, every company is, has something to do with data. So making the informed and educated decisions, it's so important, vitally important, right?
Mhm.
And as we see by the decision that Onpassive made, I believe that we can not only, targeting the customer's value, but we can also leverage our analytics that Onpassive is receiving from everywhere around the world. We can actually minimize the error and maximize the effectiveness of delivering the product. So Michael, I believe precision isn't just about the number, the decision in the number, but it's also the decisions in ensuring every action that we take is intentional and it's aligned with the strategic goals of what Onpassive is putting out. And so therefore, I believe that precision is another very important principle in Onpassive as well, because our CEO has to communicate to our tech team precisely, right? And ourselves as the early birds, as the people that doing live, putting videos together, the informations that is putting out to the public has to also precise as well. And so this principle to me is also a very, very important principle as well. Your thought, Michael?
Yeah, well, you want to bring out clarity, right? You want people to have a clear understanding of, what are you doing, where are you going, how will it all look, what's the impact it will have in the marketplace, etc. Right? So, again, that's where precision comes in. It's very important, Julie. And so we see that our CEO, he comes, for example, and he tries to give us as much information as possible. Doesn't have to do it, but he does, right? And so he tries to make that information as clear as possible as well, right? And so the same has to be done internally, right? As you're communicating with your staff, you have to make sure that you're giving them, the exact instructions, right? That they need to follow to execute to make sure that we're going exactly where we want to be, right? And so we see that happening, Julie. Again, as I said, you may have to make adjustments and so on. That's part of the decision making, right? That's part of life, right? No different. You may go to university and you said, okay, I want to be an engineer, and so you realize that, no, that's not really what I want. So you have to make that adjustment, and maybe switch to business or whatever else. I'm going to be a lawyer instead of an engineer. Whatever the case may be. So you do make adjustments in your decision making as you go through life, and so it's the same within business. You have to make adjustments in your decision making. As you try to put your business together and get it out there to the marketplace, and even when you're live in the marketplace, it's a constant adjustments. Constant adjustments need to be made, right, in order to get you where you need to be in the end, right? But as long as we get there, Julie, right, that's what really matters. As long as you get there, we don't necessarily need to know the ins and outs, the technical aspects, all the fine details. As long as we get there, right? And so we know that that is a clear, understanding that every single one of us will get there, right? That part, there's no doubt. You understand? There's no doubt whatsoever that all of us will get there, Julie. So it's important that that is communicated, right? It's important that that is received. It's important that we have the proper understanding of what that means, right? And so I think everything is being done to ensure that that is the case, right? So yeah, it's important that we are precise in our communication, right? With everyone that we talked about on passive, not giving people, the wrong information, not exaggerating anything, but letting it, here it is. This is what it is. This is how it's all going to come together. And so we're seeing that. And shortly, Julie, real soon, I believe, that we'll be able to move forward and get to that next level or next phase, if you wish. And that's going to be an amazing thing for so many people around the world, because a lot of people are waiting for Onpassive, right? There's no doubt about that. A lot of people, hundreds of thousands of people are waiting for. You even have people who are waiting for Onpassive that don't even realize it's Onpassive they're waiting for, Julie. You understand? They know what they're waiting for. Like just like people who've come into Onpassive, they knew what they were searching for, but they didn't know it was Onpassive. So it's the same thing, right? So as long as we continue to, one, stay focused, two, be precise in our communication, then we're all going to be in a very good position in the near future, right? And that's just brilliant, right? That is really brilliant the way everything is coming together. And it's just a matter of continuing to be patient, continue to trust the process, right? And all of us will be able to reap the rewards in the end. And that's, to me, Julie, is the most important thing.
I agree. And I believe that precision is non-negotiable, right? When you are precise in your communication, you're looking forward for, to eliminate all the misunderstanding. And actually, not only that, but it's help us foster the collaborations between ourselves as well. And so it's really important that when it comes to, listen to a message coming from Mr. Mufareh, everybody interpret it differently. Therefore, you have to precisely understand what is he saying in order for us to communicate. But if we take partial of that communication, section or sessions, and then you break it into part, it's not become precisely of what his message is delivering. So it's so important for all of us, I believe, that we need to stay on that task, stay on that, that trend of communication. That's probably not a right word, trend of communication, but you know what I meant. You got to stay on that topic, in order for you to understand what's coming. Because I've received some messages this morning that asking me about the meeting on Sunday evening. I mean, there's no meeting on Sunday evening, right? It was communicated differently. And so I believe precision is also important. So while we have focus, we have, you know, precise decision making or communication, it comes to efficiency. It helps us to um, deliver the message that we want to do. So this is so important to me, Michael, is delivering the message efficiently. When we do that, we can clear out, we can streamline a lot of the processes, and also identify a lot of the bottlenecks so that we can maximize the productivity in a way where we need to have that clear communication. We have to understand the message that giving to us precisely so that we can effectively sending the message to other people, because that's what we do. We are in an area of sharing this information, sharing the important information. And so efficiency is another thing that I thought it's very important in this business as well, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely, Julie. You don't need 6 hours to communicate the message, right? That's not being very efficient, you know. So you certainly want efficiency in everything that you do, right? You want to maximize your time. You want to maximize the opportunity, right? I'm all about maximizing. You want to maximize the profits, to maximize the rewards, right? All of that, and so that comes from having something that is clean, right? Something that is clear, something that people can see exactly what it's all about, right? And so therefore they can receive that message in the shortest period of time. It doesn't take much to communicate. It doesn't take much to tell people what it's all about. Like we always talk about CAPMO, for example. Okay, very, very simple, right? It's very, very easy to explain. A grade 6 student can explain what CAPMO is, right? It's very, very simple. And that embodies what Onpassive is all about, right? So, yeah, we certainly want to be efficient in all that we do. We also want to have products that's going to assist us to be efficient in our business, right? When we're talking about traffic, for example, Julie, right? You don't necessarily want to have run-of-the-mill traffic. You don't want to have, oh, I've got a million, different visitors that's looking at what I have to offer, and these 1 million visitors, 99% of them, right, are not looking for what you have, right? They were just happened to have been directed or redirected to your offer, right? So that's not being efficient, right? That's wasting a lot of resources. So you certainly want to be in a position whereby, if we're talking about traffic, right, then you want it to be targeted as possible, because that's how you're going to be the most efficient with what you're doing, right? You'll be able to have the least amount of people taking a look at what you have to offer, but having the maximum of sales as a result of this small population that takes a look at what you have to offer. That's important, Julie, right? And the same goes for other products, right? You're introducing people to Academy, and yet these individuals, they're not interested in e-learning. You know what I mean? They're not interested in any of that. So why would I put that in front of them, right? That wouldn't be, efficient, right? So we certainly want to be able to align the right set of people, the right eyeballs, to the right offer, right? And when you do that, Julie, then now you have an efficient business, right? You want to be able to trim the fat, get rid of all the excess that's not necessary, right? You don't need to have 20 departments if all you need is one. You don't need to have 1,000 employees if all you need is 100 employees. You understand? So you want your business to be running smooth, like a well-oiled machine is what you want. And so efficiency is important in that, right? So it's not just in communication, but it's also in the products and services that you offer. It's also how you run your business internally, right? If you have bad apples inside there, you need to get rid of the bad apples and only focus on the good apples. You understand, right? So everything about your business, you want it to be efficient, Julie, because that's going to produce the most results in the smallest possible time, right? If something doesn't take 10 years to be done and it can be done in 2 years, then what's the extra 8 years for? You understand? So you want everything to be efficient. And so, Onpassive is certainly putting that at the forefront of their agenda, is to make sure they trim what needs to be trimmed, they maximize what needs to be maximized so that we in turn can reap those benefits as a result of that, Julie, right? So absolutely, focus, precision, efficiency, all can be seen within our company Onpassive, because those are important aspects of any good business, right? And certainly we can talk about having efficient relationships, right? So, the bottom line is that these are three areas that you want to have maximized within your business, so that you get the best possible results, right? And so Onpassive is taking the time and care to ensure that is the case. And as I said before, and I keep saying it, make the adjustments as needed, because that's important, Julie. It's important. If you have excess fat, it's important to trim it, right? That also goes from an individual standpoint, Julie, to be honest, right? Because we know what comes with the excess, right? And what, how that can lead to, sickness and diseases and so on and so forth, right? The bottom line is, you want your business to be as efficient as possible, right? Because with efficiency will also come effectiveness, right? And that's what we all want.
Absolutely. Well said, Michael. I see the synergy between focus, precision and efficiency. It will help to propel our business forward, right?
Mhm.
By us, prioritizing these principles, we can position ourselves not just to survive, but to thrive in this crazy complex world, data and technology, and it help us to deliver a solid and cutting edge technology that we have been working on. So we can wrap this up by saying, let us commit to sharpen our focus, honing our precisions, and also maximize the efficiency of delivering not only just the message but the technology as well. And I believe if all of us working on sharpening these points, these principles, I believe we can achieve the remarkable things that we ever want, and will make our dreams come true, not only for us in On Passive, but the entire world, because the center of On Passive is to lift up humanity with love, and that's how I see it.
Yeah, well, you want it to be a way of life, Julie, right? Everything you do, you want it to be a way of life. That's how you become efficient in your day-to-day activities, right? When things, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, right? It's not something that, oh, you know, let me try this today, let me try that tomorrow. Let me switch up you know what I mean? Like you want to have a nice routine, right? You want to have a good routine in everything that you do, because when that becomes a part of your day-to-day life, it's so much easier, Julie, right? Everything works like that. Your business, you want your business to be a way of life, right? Something that you love, right? You want to wake up to, oh, I can't wait to take a look at my own passive business, as an example, right? Um, some people have jobs, right? And well, a lot of people have jobs, right? And so, you have those who can't wait to get to their job, right? And then you have those who, oh man, I got to get up. Oh, I got to go to work today again. And so it's not something they love, right? Things just runs that much more smoothly, Julie, when you're doing something that you love, right? Us coming on here, most Mondays, with the one or two exceptions, right? We come on a weekly basis because we love what we're doing. We love to talk about On Passive. It's a conversation that we love and look forward to because it's now become a part of our life. It's a way of life for us. Onpassive is a way of life for us. It's not just a business, right? So we look forward to it, right? When we jump on webinars, we look forward to it. We look forward to having discussions about Onpassive, right? So again, when you make it a way of life, Julie, then you tend to be in love with that, right? It's not a side note. It's not a side gig. You know what I mean? And that's important, right? So as we move forward, people just need to continue to remember about staying focused, right? Do your best to be as precise as possible in all that you do, right? And as a result of that, you'll see that your life become that much more efficient. You're able to accomplish task in shorter periods of time because you're focused on the task at hand, right? Can you imagine, you're trying to get from A to B, but, in trying to get from A to B, you're going to, A1, A2, A3, you know what I mean? Like you're going all these different places instead of focusing on where you're actually trying to get to, right? Like that's just how that works, right? You're running 100 meters. Okay, it's a straight run, right? But if you decide to veer off, and maybe go backwards and go off to the side, it's going to take you a long time to get to that finish line, right? So we want to stay focused. We want to, make sure that we're going in the right direction. And certainly that will get us there as fast as possible so that we can maximize the opportunity that presents itself to all of us, right? Maximize the opportunity that is there to help as much people as possible that we can, right? Because that is important, Julie, right? A lot of us are in this business because we see the opportunity to be able to help others, right? We're not just in it just for ourselves and just for our family. We're able to see the big picture and say, wow, okay, this can really allow me to do so much good out there in the marketplace. This can allow me to do so much good in the community. This can allow me to align myself with a lot of great ideas, a lot of great causes that's out there in the marketplace that otherwise I would not be able to, right? So a lot of people have come and they've seen that, and the ideas have grown, Julie, as to what is possible because of Onpassive. So as long as we continue to stay focused, in that direction, it's all good, right? It's all good.
Well said. That's a wrap, everyone. Thank you for being here. As you know, I do have a heart-to-heart conversation. And also, my goal for the heart-to-heart conversation is basically first to get to know you, if you like me to get to know you. Second of all, I wanted to create that show so that everyone can know you a little bit, extend it more than just a webinar, so that they know what your interest in life, what you enjoy to do, so that people can connect with each other. So if you go to on Heart to Heart Conversation, if you like, for example, if I present Michael at that time, and Michael doesn't have a YouTube, but I'm using Michael as an example. If Michael has a YouTube channel, other people can actually connect with him as well. So basically, it's another way of presenting you to the world. As you know, Marty and Chris are doing Shine the Light. Narelle is also doing one. Jeffrey and Red are doing In the Chair. So everyone is doing that. The way how I put heart to heart conversation is it's a little bit more longer than the other, so that I can actually giving you an opportunity to present yourself to the world, and also people get to know you more and connect with you. So that's the purpose of my heart to heart conversation, beside loving to get to know you more. And so if you're interested in that, make sure you send me a message. And if you're interested to go to the other ones like Marty and Chris and Narelle, I believe the OTech Pro and Jeffrey Morlock and Red in the Chair, please make sure you reach out to them. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay tuned. If you've listened to Onpassive 360 last week, make sure, try to understand that message. All right. Because a lot of the questions that we are receiving, it make no sense. And so if you like to know more about it or wanted to watch the 360 again, there's a link in this YouTube channel or anywhere in like 20 channels there. You can watch them as well. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Take care and take care of yourself. See you next week.